Good night, it's Raw and Uncut. Hi, I'm Luis Hart, and of course we're here with Dra. Hi, Dra. And Lee. Hi, Lee.
Yo.
So, what we're going to do? What we're going to talk about tonight? Of course, in our headlines, we're going to be touching on Marlene. Of course, she's back, like a bad disease. We're going to be talking a little bit about, of course, the landslides that took place in Lady Young, as well as what went on in Cedrus. We're going to talk about, what else are we talking about in the headlines? I'm trying to remember. All the stuff that went on today, we're going to be dealing with. Of course, the anti-gang legislation looking like it's going to be passed. Of course, my monologue is coming up. And our guest tonight is Rima Lewis. She is from the Ministry of Health Prevention Coordinator for HIV and AIDS. We have a little serious topic to deal with tonight, but very important. All right? So, I guess let's get into it. Tonight I want to talk about my bucket list. I've done most of this stuff, but I have a few things left that, maybe I still want to do. There's always a bunch of things that, anybody wants to do before they die. As we get older and live longer, the list gets shorter. Scuba diving, well, was one. I actually did this one. I spent like a shitload of money and got all the gear, the wetsuit. The wetsuit. If someone had shown me a mirror of what I looked like in a wetsuit, I would have never bought it. No wonder I was scaring all the fish. I got the tanks and the goggles and the fish bag and the fins on my feet and the spare gun, which I never understood why they call it a spare gun. Because really, it works with rubber bands. It's more like a spare slingshot. And by the way, it's a pain in the ass to load. I got one of those dive watches. Now, those are really cool. Because, when you run out of air, I can say it was exactly 2:35 p.m. when I died. Oh, so if you try to say in 7:35 p.m. in UK, it had that option. It's good to have, you could die in peace, I actually saw a killer whale once. I was like, Marlene, what you doing here? Except that killer whale wants to kill Carnival. But I see killer whales, that's true. I've seen them. But it's also true to say that when I saw them at the time, I was at SeaWorld. Because I wouldn't want to be in the water with one of those. Hell no, that ain't happening. And I tried, I wanted to try skydiving. I almost tried it, actually. But I was married at the time to Lee's mom. And she wouldn't let me go. She thought I would die. She pleaded. I was all set for my first dive, and she screamed and cried for me to stay, so I stayed. A couple of years later, it was a decision she always said she regretted. I also thought about it afterwards, and I said, if a plane is going down, I can understand, I'll take the dive. But really, I don't think I can wrap my head around jumping out of a perfectly good working airplane. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like risking your life for no reason. You know what I mean? Like it's like driving down the highway in a perfectly good maxi taxi, and for no reason you tell your driver, "Stop, drop me off here to beat him." Even though you're better out of surviving if your parachute didn't open and stopping off the beat him. So
that's probably true.
Yes, I wanted to try motocross or supercross, dirt bike riding. Lee used to do that.
Yeah.
It was something I really liked, but the problem with dirt bikes is it only have two wheels. That's the problem with dirt bikes. And after falling on my ass face back and getting enough white man all over my body, I quit. Fuck it. No. Once I fell on my ride home from the track, as usual, I had, damaged my whole left side. But okay, I was all right for a while. Like an ass, I went home exhausted, showered, and went to bed. Only to wake up hours later with the bedsheet stuck to my whole left side. You know what happened when you fall asleep with white man and the bedsheet stick on you? You know how painful that is? Have happened to you, Dra?
Well, when you wake up to see a white
so
man
you fall
there,
asleep, the white man sweat on the sheet and stick on you.
I think any kind of man that sweats on the sheets a little painful when you wake up. Yeah.
You want next kind of man. But when that
What?
sweat... When that's stick on you.
The thing about white man is you never know that they're there. Like you fall and whatever happen, and you don't feel that pain until that scarlet. Yeah. When the blood come, blow, like scarlet red, and just be like, because any little piece of anything that touch that, and then you have to get
No, that's what happened. I went and take a shower and lie down on my bed, and I wake up hours later, the bed sheet stick to me. And I ain't gonna lie, as a man, I regress to childhood. I bawled for my mommy. I'm not kidding you. I called my mother. I was living in my mother's house in them days, and I called her to come and take care of me. And she actually had to sit down. And the way she had to take it off of me was that she had to wet back the sheet. So she had to take a wet sponge and wet everywhere that stick to get it back wet, to soften it, so that she could pull the sheet off of me. I bawled along the place. I ain't gonna lie. As man, I bawled along the place. So, after that incident, most of my items on my bucket list was, sexually related. Like, doing it with 2 girls at the same time, or doing it with 3 girls at the same. Oh, my favorite, doing it with 4 girls at the same time. I have done up to, I did the 2 and the 3, and I was able to talk the girls into it, but the 4 I had to pay for. And here's some good advice. Even if she says she's cool with it, when you're doing a threesome, make sure that none of the girls is your girlfriend. There's always regret, and she blamed me for trying to turn her into a lesbian. I'm telling you, I have 2 exes who are now lesbians and another who became a nun. I guess I'm not as good in bed as I thought. Anyway, I guess it's time to go on to the headlines.
But I get tapped with them 2-wheel dirt bike, yeah? They go in places, all them expensive Range Rover and things, or get stuck.
I'd say no. If you just know how to ride it. That's the hard part, the knowing how to ride it. So we have
that's what he said.
That's what he said. So let me start with the headline news. 95 killings in 2 months and only 11 people charged. January and February have been the 2 bloodiest months in TNT history, with 95 murders being recorded up to 5 p.m. yesterday. Or was that the day before? For the month of January, there were 60 murders according to the Homicide Bureau, and another 35 reported so far this month. With more murders than days gone in the year, only 11 people have been charged with offenses by the Homicide Bureau of Investigation.
More murders than days gone?
Yeah. So, the figure also represents 11 more murders than when compared to the same period last year. So we up on murders this year. Additionally, 3 people were charged this year for murders that occurred actually in 2017. So one or 2 of them may have been, get charged this year, but the murder actually occurred last year.
Yeah.
But
and imagine all those people who not getting charged at all for murders that took place.
And then we have 7 women killed in 2018, and not all classified as domestic cases, but they were all linked to domestic issues. The most recent being, of course, 2 days ago with this lady Margaret Guevara Diaz.
Also, in regard to that, like, since you brought up that, if you have the pictures of the murder scene and all of the following pictures that are associated, they come as a group, I think, of about 7 pictures. Stop sharing it. Stop sending it to people. Don't put it on your Facebook. Stop doing that. It's gross. Stop it. Stop doing that. It's gross.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
It's disgusting. Have a sensitivity. Stop it.
Well, and the police is still calling for the anti-gang legislation, which I think finally the PM is ready to make a deal with the UNC on the anti-gang bill. I remember when this first went up, the Prime Minister said he made leeway for whatever it is the UNC wanted. I don't agree with the 2.5 years sunset clause. I don't agree with that. I feel it should be at least 5 years. I don't understand the thinking of that. I think, it's going to happen right in the election cycle, where there could be a point where
Do you think it should be 5 years?
Yes, I think it should go for at least 5 years. The 2.5 years thing is very suspicious. Like the UNC want to be able to, have the ability to change it if they win the next election. So, but still, it's gonna drop in an election year more than likely.
And then they will switch it up and be like, "Look what we did! Oh my God, we're so cool."
So yeah, and it's ridiculous. So Keith Rowley has agreed to it, the 2.5 years, and finally we're gonna get anti-gang legislation, but. They better push it too fast, because if they drag their ass on this, the 2.5 years could go by before they get it, passed. But
remember, I told you I overheard a conversation in the bank. We had a conversation, so we chatted amongst ourselves before the show starts, and I was telling Louise, and we'll go into details of what brought up the conversation. But I overheard a conversation in the bank. Remember I was telling about that? Somebody was on the phone.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
That's exactly what they were talking about. This exact thing.
Oh, okay. So, just ridiculous. And Rowley took the opposition leader, Kamala Prasad Bissetta, the task for rationing the amount of time it's willing to give the TNT police service to deal with the gang problem. He accused Prasad Bisesa of playing politics with the legislation, saying that she only changed her tune after voting it down because the opposition found themselves in a political doghouse with the population. I have to say that kind of true, But in all fairness, they were the one who originally came up with it. Mind you, it's been, I guess, pretty much renewed as is. I don't know what the problem was with it. But it is. It was. I never understood. To me, the reasons why the opposition turned down the pass this legislation in the first place was petty and ridiculous, and it's something we really need. Even though I didn't think when we had it before how much fruits it really bear, because we keep arresting people and then letting them go. We need some. As I said, we need to be able, as a population, until we can fix this, be willing to give up some of our civil rights so we can arrest these people and lock their ass up permanently. No bail for them. Let them fight their way out of jail. We have how murder is non-bailable. They get charged with murder, no bail. I think we should do the same thing with that. I don't know if that's part of it, but if you get arrested for a gang affiliation, no bail. And let me take the process real long and slow to find out,
But isn't there, like in the states and stuff, I think if you get arrested, you lose your civil rights, or you lose the ability to vote until you go and apply to get it back
I
again.
don't know if that's for sure, but that sounds like a good idea.
If you're charged with a crime, and the reason why I know this is actually because I used to watch this Mob Wives, and I remember Big Ange, she didn't, because she had been arrested for whatever, maybe racketeering or whatever it was, because she was with all those wise guys. She couldn't vote. She couldn't
tremendously
vote.
oversized boobs.
Yeah, she couldn't vote. So yeah, if you get charged, it's something like that. So maybe we should adopt something similar.
I agree. Locking their ass away. I don't care if you get arrested more than once or twice. I'm not even on 3 strikes, 2 strikes. You know what I mean? If you're affiliated with a gang, lock your ass up. And I don't care. Throw the key. In fact, I would even say, look, hang in. If you get they find you guilty of gang affiliation and hang in. I no problem with that, because those fuckers have no regard for innocent lives. You understand? It's all about them and what they want to do, and they don't care who they kill. They accomplish their dirty deeds. So why should we be any different? Yeah, I'm not big on mercy. It's pretty much a fuck you attitude when it comes to crime and gangsters in particular. So we move on.
Oh, so this is what it is. Sorry, not to.
Yeah, no good.
The act, right? So it was amended by removing the 5-year waiting period for most felons to regain the ability to vote. People convicted of a felony, with some exceptions, are now automatically eligible to vote after serving their full sentence, including incarceration, parole, and probation.
Is this state?
Yeah. So when you come out of jail, you can't vote until you finish
Your parole.
your parole and probation. So you
I
have
no problem with
to
that.
no longer be under the, I guess, the whole.
But do they care? Do criminals really care? Do they vote?
Well, you never
mean,
know. But it depends on, I guess, what you're convicted of. It's like Martha Stewart. She got convicted for what it was, lying to the FBI or whatever it was, right? Or secrets sharing about stocks and selling, insider trading, right? So I think it would qualify for her too. She wouldn't be able to vote for the.
She was showing Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I know she do more jail time than Snoop.
He's not. She's a convicted felon, and he is not.
Yes.
He got off a murder charge years ago, I think. So he never actually make jail.
So she's the criminal. Would you believe?
Yep.
If you didn't know, you watch 2 of them. Who do you think?
Well, they have a meme of that. One of these is a convicted felon, and one is not. Yeah.
Well, I know voting is an issue for criminals, but certainly I am all for. We should be building jails on an ongoing process. I've always said that, and you see, Labas is a landfill, a perfect site to build a jail, and just do a walkover from Beatham, so the families can visit. One, and make like a wide connection from Sea Lots. Sea Lots a crime? Sea Lots.
That's terrible. Move on. To your favorite topic. Your favorite topic.
Meduru. My darling, Marlene appointed minister, Prime Minister Keith Rowley today advised President Anthony. He's still in office? Oh, God, man.
I think he gone this month, thank the Lord.
Is-
He can't go soon enough.
But of course, one of the last things you have to do is to appoint Marlene McDonald as Minister in the Ministry of Public Administration and Communications, where she will assist the Prime Minister, who continues to hold a portfolio, which he assumed since the substantive Minister, Maxi Coffey. Oh, God, Maxi, come back now. I know. Somebody, we have the Lazarus effect and bring back Maxi.
Well, the amount that they bring back
Is
all
he
the
dead or he
Berkey
not
memes.
dead? What is, we haven't found out yet.
All the Berkey memes come back. See, Berkey now is ironing her shirts and all kind of thing. All the memes. I mean, within half an hour of hearing it on the news.
Yeah.
I heard it on the news at only 12 o'clock news. I heard it. And by 12:05, a meme. Blow, Berkey doing this. And there's always have Berkey all over the place. You see them ironing her shit. Oh, gosh. I was like, we're not
She
going
like
to
a
ever
female
escape
version
it.
to him, though, eh?
They look like they could be first cousins.
This is like a female version of him. So, so she back. I don't know what the hell, but what? I mean, is the well so dry in talent in the PNM that we had to keep putting this woman back? How long she gonna last this time? And is it like a 3 strike and you're out forever? What is the cap on how many times you could be minister and get pulled out of your position? It is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. What? Is it because of the Fat Ass Brigade? What is the reason why she getting put back? Because she have a pull in the political party, and that's the reason why you're appeasing her. Because I don't think personally, and see, this is my opinion. I don't think personally that Keith Rowley really like her. I really don't. I just feel the reason why she keep bouncing back is because I think she still have she's still a bit of a heavy hit in the PNM. So, to sort of keep her on his side or keep her in the good books, he has to tread this line. Because I'm sure there have other people in the PNM that, younger, more vibrant, more qualified that could do the same job. She disgraced herself twice. She should not be put back in a position as a minister. That's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. So, I mean, but there she is. There she is. Godzilla returns. Anyhow, another disgusting topic today. I have some child rape molestation reports on the rise. Data shared with the Child Protection Unit of the Police Service Wednesday showed an alarming increase in the number of reports of child rapes and molestations. Now, according to statistics, reports of sexual penetration of a child dominated the crimes against minors. Now, in 2015, there was 61 reports of penetration of a child, 199 in 2016. That's a big jump. Then the 244 in 2017. And for the first 2 months of 2018, there have been 30 reports of child sexual penetration.
And that's just penetration.
Yeah, it's like, and then the second highest crime reported was sexual touching of a child. 28 in 2015. There was 69 of those in 2016. 79 in 2000. I find another song in law. And for so far for this year, 19
but this
reports.
is the thing. The thing about the thing, and exactly. That's the thing. These about the reported crimes. So the number of children that are probably being molested and is going unreported now. I mean, honestly, I had to cough just now because I'm disgusted.
Yeah, it is. What is it? Because you know what? It's, for too many years, there was nobody to protect children. So these fucking sickos, and I don't think I could call them. Well, had free reign. At least the police try. I mean, the CP reported that children under the age of 15 were most targeted. I mean, it's just. Psh. And they said they have warning signs, and this is something I think that I should say that. They said that a child shows signs of discomfort whilst walking or sitting. I mean, unless you know the child to fall long. If it's your child, if he having trouble walking or sitting, you need to check because you never know. And most of these children are molested by somebody they know.
Yeah,
they used to tell children that beware of strangers. It's beware of your goddamn relatives.
You know what I find is also a telling thing that people kind of don't notice, and I maintain it with all of my friends and their children. Don't ever be like, kiss uncle so and so, or give auntie
Or
so and
force
so
a
a
child
hug,
to do
or
that, yeah.
force. If they do not want to do it, there's a reason.
There's a reason.
Do not ever force that. Don't
Correct.
ever force your children
Correct, is
to interact like that. So if they don't want to do it, leave them. Leave them.
They also say another sign here: reluctant to undress in the presence of others who they may previously feel like their brothers or sisters. All of a sudden, they being closeted or cloistered, to their bodies. That is a definite sign. If they, I don't understand, inappropriate behavior for age where she may be acting in a seductive way, or behavior displayed by a child, or that a child shouldn't display, is also a definitely tell point. I have lots of them, and you really should go. If you check today's Guardian, they have a list of all of them, and it's something that all parents should look out for, because you never know. It always seems to come from right under your nose. You know many parents didn't even know that was going on to their children for years.
And some of them just deny it happening, even if they hear about it. I think for some.
So some of them there is no.
Yeah, there's
Some
no.
of them there's no. Like
It's ridiculous.
there's have situations where it's the father doing it and the mother know, and the mother don't want to say anything because she feeling embarrassed because of how people will look at her around the place, and she don't want to say anything, or she getting abused by the husband in a different way as well.
Correct.
So it's just a whole
Sometimes too, they're in denial to it.
Yeah,
they abuse themselves and brutalize. And then we had the landslides, despite the trauma of seeing their neighbors' houses swallowed by the sea due to ongoing coastal erosion. Heartbroken Bamboo Village Cedrus residents yesterday refused to leave their properties against the advice of security personnel on hand to help them. I have a problem with that. I'm sorry you're losing your house, but if the police tell you need to evacuate, get your ass out your house. Because if something happened to you and you find yourself in a precarious situation, it's other people who have to risk their lives to come and save yours. I was against people mountain climbing and doing all these what I call X games, or these high risk sports, because yes, fine if you want to put yourself at risk, but when you put yourself at risk and we have to send rescuers and send police and send regiment to come and save your ass, put their lives in risk to save yours. No, let your house go down the hill, man. Go build the next house. And honestly, I'm not even sure if those houses are they squatters or are they legitimate. But in any case, if your house cracking, and get the ass out of your house. I don't know. I feel sorry for them, but at the same time, for those who stayed back, to me, it's as a combination of stupidity.
There must have been for the erosion to have gotten to the state where the houses have started now falling into the sea. It means that it has been going on most likely for decades. That's erosion.
Correct.
So there must have been some sort of indication that it was pending.
Yeah, but a woman showing the cracks on the news center on CNC3, showing the cracks on a house, so she know this thing going on.
And talking about that children are there, children. This is the only passageway we have, and children does be here. Be like, dog, you are explaining to us that your house is mashing up, and you have the children there.
But like it's as if it's somebody else's fault and somebody else need to fix it. It's another thing I can't understand. I'm sorry, but you know what? It's your house. Somehow you built it. If it's in a crack, why it is all of a sudden the government have to... Nobody coming to help me? So everybody's house got a crack. We have to... Taxpayer have to run and fix it? No. Move. You shouldn't have put your house there in the first place. God, I'm tired of this sense of entitlement that Trinidadians feel. For some reason, the government and taxpayers must spend their money to help them. No. You have to help yourself. Government have housing, apply for housing. If you want to build your own thing and squat on land or whatever, maybe the land may be legitimately yours, but whatever happened to the house is your responsibility, not anybody else's own. Stop putting in other people's life at risk. Get the hell out if they tell you to get out. And we also see the former food production minister, Devant Maraj, rescued his former parliamentary colleague, Joanne Thomas, in a landslide. Man, that's
scary, boy.
Do you have the video?
Now the WhatsApp giving some trouble.
WhatsApp giving some trouble. But
I'm
boy,
ready to pull it up just now. So.
But
that
is
Audi is amazing. How
But is a little one, or is this the small SUV? That's a little SUV. That's not an A. That's a Q5.
No, that is the Q5s.
Is it a
looking
Q5?
small in the picture because.
Oh, it's a Q5 or Q3? If it's a Q5, that's the
It's a
big.
Q5.
It's the big SUV. That's the big Audi SUV.
No, this Q7 is the biggest one. So the Q5 is the middle one.
Dog.
Yeah, it's still a sizable.
I remember once when we were working in advertising, we were driving over at Lady Young, right? So we were trying to deliver a pitch on time. If you work in advertising, you know everything last minute.
Yeah.
So we take two routes. One car went on one route down the highway, and the next car going over Lady Young. And there was a situation where two cars in front of the car on the Lady Young. It was raining, plenty, and just some like a spring almost. It was like if somebody turned on a tap in the Lady Young, and just water just come flying out.
Water? Wow.
Water out of the mountain and pitch a car over the side.
Oh crap!
Hey, no, man.
And you witnessed that?
My husband from Tabakeith, Dave, witnessed it. My work husband witnessed that. He was like, he's apparently, and the fellow who was the driver, he started scream down the place, and they had to, everybody started to call ambulance. The woman was fine. But, I mean...
But the car went over the edge, or what?
The water came out at such a force that it just went plow on the car, and the car went over the side.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, that Lady Young scary if you'd like...
It is. And with all the rain we've been having... Yeah,
and then people trying to get home, and down St. Francois Valley Road.
Yeah.
You getting robbed. I trying to go home, dog. It had nowhere else for me to pass.
Yeah. And people want to say I harsh when I say is to kill them fuckers when they're doing that. You know, kill them. I sorry, I don't care. I don't make an excuse. It's Lucia harsh. This. I don't feel. I have no sympathy for poor people. It's not poor people. There are plenty of poor people and they're not committing crime.
Poor people robbing poor people.
You know, but what I'm trying to say, it's not against poor people, against criminals. Because you know what? Not these criminals, these thieves, these gangsters, these people are doing this. It's just a very small percentage of the population that lives there, and people like to make the idea that these protests that they do and these robbings that they do as if it's reflective of the whole population there. That everybody's suffering, they're starving. It's because they're being pushed to this by society because they are underprivileged. No, it's a small percentage of them that doing this for no other reason than they blasted crooks and they fucking wicked. Shoot them. Police put a bullet in your ass.
Luis, you just went from 0 to 500 in half a second. Cool it. We can't even know heart attacks in here from a place. Thanks.
And finally, the reason I'm talking about this because this is a big indicator of how our economy is doing. Because what is Trinidadians' favorite pastime? Eating KFC. That, drinking, and carnival. And posted today in the Business Guardian, Prestige Holdings Limited has recorded a 30% decline in profit after tax for this financial year 2017. And God, imagine what 2018 and for them. So according to the company's published results, the restaurant management business generated $32.9 million, but they still do $32.9 million profit. It's down from the year before, but it's still $33 million that you still make. But they say the KFC brand kind of holding its own, and the Pizza Hut, but apparently Subway not
doing so good.
Not doing so good.
Listen, Pizza Pit seems to be doing quite well though,
and
that's
even
a
the
good
TGI Fridays too. Not, you know. They said profitability declined 30%, mainly due to the underperformance of Subway brand. Two, a significant $5.6 million foreign exchange cost impact. They can't get US to buy. Has impacted them. And third is the increased tax rate. They said that KFC and Pizza Hut brands held up relatively well, given the significant headwinds in the economy, and that
I know.
they didn't give no report really on the Starbucks. Because Starbucks is also there too.
Is that?
To see if they do it. I think Starbucks going guns.
Yeah, but people,
but
people like to do the hipster thing.
But I mean, if it is that KFC, I mean, and these places taking a hit, you could imagine what kind of trickle-along effect that's going to have. And I guess that wraps up our headlines.
All right.
And
our guest has been here since before you even started your monologue.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
I'm feeling bad now.
So we want to welcome our guest from the Ministry of Health, Rima Kendall. Let her go. Oh, look, it's Richard. Hi.
All right.
Hi.
Rima, nice
Indra, nice to meet you.
How you doing, Luis?
I'm well.
This
How are
is
you?
Luis and this is Lee.
Hi, nice to meet you.
All right. Excellent.
Right. So this is Rima Lewis. She's from the Ministry of Health, and she's the HIV/AIDS prevention coordinator.
Yes, I am.
And
Thank
her
you for
outfit
having
is
me.
also coordinated. Yes. So tell us a little bit about what you do as a prevention coordinator.
Sure. So it's a multitude of things, but it really is exactly what it sounds like.
Right.
So my role is to assist and really coordinate what's happening around the country as it relates to HIV/AIDS and
You can
prevent.
talk here. This is your camera.
Okay, this is me. Okay, great. Good to know. So, as it relates to HIV/AIDS and prevention, so we ensure that there are testing events happening within the country, that testing services are available, that people know what's happening, where it's taking place, and of course, to support that occurring in each of our regions across the country.
Okay.
It's a small snippet of what really happens on a bigger scale, but yeah.
So this is free testing.
Free testing, yes.
Okay. So and it's just you go to specific places. Do you go to rural areas more than other areas, or do you go anywhere at any time?
Yeah, so we have over 60 testing sites in Trinidad and Tobago. So it really is up to you and where you feel comfortable going. We know people.
And testing is free?
Testing is free. Testing is free at all of our public service sites. So it really is up to you. We know most people may get tested where they work because it's more convenient than because you're at work really the majority of your day most times. So right after work or before work or during lunch, you may be tested at a site that is in your area.
Right.
And people can find that information online. We have a web page.
Okay.
So if you go onto the Ministry of Health's webpage, you'll see where testing sites are available. You can select what region you live in or what region you want to be tested in, and you'll be able to see what times, when it's going to be available for you.
Okay. That's good.
So, Maz, what are I mean, I guess the toughest part of your job would be having to, I mean, it's a heavy subject.
Yes, it is.
And I guess the day-to-day having to deal with this topic. And
Right.
I'm going to deal with the consequences of it. Must weigh on you. What I mean, is HIV/AIDS, is it still a death sentence? Or?
No, definitely not. You know, the world has evolved in a way where we have treatments available. And so the really amazing thing is that here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have treatments and drugs where people can be virally suppressed. So what that means is that your viral load or the virus that causes HIV is so low that you have a very low risk of transmitting it if you are sustained on your treatment and adhering to your treatment.
Okay. And
That's, I mean, a lot of people still think that, well, if you get it,
that's it.
that's
Right,
it. You know,
right. And I
we
think
have to sort of get that out there because a lot of people don't want to be tested because
Right.
Because they
oh my
don't
God,
want to know.
no.
Yes,
And oh my gosh, and then
And then the
how
stigma
people
that
gonna know
unfortunately is
and
still
lost.
attached to it.
Yeah.
Yes,
you know.
yes. And I think in this case, ignorance is not bliss, right? Because
Because you could kill other people.
Right.
yes,
can't kill
well,
other
Well, you
people.
you could
know,
infect
you
other
add into the
people.
problem.
No, but you could infect other people.
you can
Right.
infect other people. So what we really want to encourage and really to get away from that stigma is that the sooner you test, the sooner you know your status. The sooner you know your status, the sooner we can provide services for you, the sooner we can provide treatment for you, and the sooner we can make sure that you are living a full life.
And our health services here will includes that as free as well.
It is.
So, the
It is.
treatments
It is.
for-
Our HIV treatments are
What are the
free.
treatment like? Is it pills? Is it injections? Is it what is it?
Sure. So I'll go on record to say I'm not a doctor,
Right.
right?
Okay,
I'm
right.
a public health practitioner.
Right.
And my focus is prevention. So I'll say that some of the details that you may want, I may not be able to give to you
No,
tonight.
I'm not going
but-
to specifics.
yeah,
but
sure. But
what-
it is a regimen, right, of medications, and it may differ for some people.
Some things
depending-
work better for people than others.
Exactly. So yes, so it is a regimen of different medications that someone may need to partake in.
Okay, and in terms of like financially being able to access this
Yes.
treatment, is it, I mean, obviously we're gonna have to pay for the drugs because drugs aren't free, but is there some sort of subsidize anything, or is it just like fend for yourself?
No, not at
Okay,
all. Not
all
at
right.
all. So the Ministry of Health has ensured that people that need access to this treatment have access to the treatment, right? So
Okay.
it is free,
It's free.
provided by the government. Yes.
excellent.
That is awesome.
Yes.
Government working for you.
It is working
yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
It is. We really understand and respect the fact that it is a difficult situation. It's a difficult diagnosis, right?
Yeah,
Because of the
yeah.
long-lasting stigma that's happening for years. But we want to let people know that, first of all, again, testing is important. We do have services for that. We do
Safe
have
sex. Do you work with family planning? I'm a big supporter of family planning. I'm always talking about it, and I'm practicing safe
Yes,
sex.
there were-
My son, I remember when he at a certain age, and I figured, okay, I took him to the pharmacy. I said, look, this is what your father used, but you could try and you try another. I remember I took it a
A
couple
bigger
of
size.
I doubt. I doubt.
But I mean, do you think that, because in my personal view has always been that if they were to teach safe sex in schools, that it would for some reason we have a knee-jerk reaction to that in Trinidad. It's done in states
Yeah,
and
I
other
learned
parts
that
of
in
the first world.
England in high school.
Yeah, in England,
Sex
you know.
education.
Why are we not doing that in Trinidad though? Is that something that you feel that should be done?
So what we do provide at the Ministry of Health.
Stepping my question, I got a big
Not
wish
at all.
to this.
Wait,
Not at
push you on
all.
the spot there.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So within the Ministry of Health, we have a division called the Health Education Division, and they work with entities called Rapport. And a lot of students in the schools probably have heard of Rapport or Rapport. And they go into the schools and do education, and they find ways to integrate the topics that we know are important. So, for example, pre-carnival, we had a pre-carnival outreach to our schools, and they utilize popular soca songs to talk about healthier choices. And many times that could address, what's happening in terms of sexual activity. So using the songs and using different tools to reach students, that is happening. We are on the ground, going into schools, talking about
You have to
healthier
to
choices.
get permission from the schools to do this.
Yes, and really, a lot of schools are on board. I think they see
What about the
need.
convents?
No, they don't.
Because
Most religious schools don't. The government schools, yes. But the religious schools, because they get confused. They think, support. Because I'm Catholic and I have a problem with it. That because I'm teaching safe sex, I'm not condoning sexual behavior. And they
but
get
then-
confused with they can't understand the difference. Apparently,
Agreed.
they're not sophisticated enough to understand the
They,
difference.
so they
between
feel
the
like if the children are educated about safe sexual behavior, that they will
Yeah.
that will tell them, we are telling you, after you have this speech today, you are to go to your brother's school and have sex with one of them,
No,
which
it's
is
just-
not at all what it is.
No,
because
no.
even if you don't have the conversation with them, they're going to go and have sex with a boy anyway and do it in an
Because
unsafe way.
what is
So it's
group-
best that they know what is the
Yeah.
safe way to do
Correct.
this thing that we're gonna do anyway, because we have the age where
And
this
they're higher risk.
is nice.
What is the yeah?
And I like when you do
What
it.
is the high risk? I mean, I'm all at risk. Everybody's at risk, but
Yes.
what is the one most prone? What age group it tends to be the highest at risk? Is there an age group? Is there?
I wouldn't say there's an age group that's most prone to to HIV and AIDS, but what we do see is that 15 to 24 age group, they're not getting tested. Right? So this year, well, always, but we, and especially myself, we're putting a focus on getting those, that age group. So we're doing an initiative within our universities and our colleges to try to get our students tested, because we want to capture that population as well. And another population that's not getting tested, the men. You all are not seeking...
So mostly women getting tested. not men.
Women get tested. Women in general are the ones that seek healthcare services, right? We seek healthcare
because
services.
we need more healthcare services in general. I think,
I
because
think-
we have more parts that need more.
We just
Maintenance.
don't. We don't
You'll
wait
have more moving parts than
no, we don't wait until we're sick.
Right.
Right.
You're
I think
more proactive for sure.
we're more proactive. So you ask the average man, when is the last time you got a
It's that kind of
checkup?
private. So I healthy, because it's that kind of macho thing too for
Right.
me. I don't get
Unfortunately.
sick. I strong. So going to the doctor for any reason for men sometimes is that kind of admission of
Like that
weakness.
prostate cancer thing. I ain't gonna let nobody put anything up my like
I
dread.
wanna do,
And when they
What, you want it
eventually go-
dead? That's what you want? That's what
Yeah.
you want instead? All right.
So we really need to encourage our men to get tested, because what we're finding is that when we look at who's getting tested, we see more women are getting tested. However, we also see that when men do decide to get tested, when we're comparing the numbers, there are more men showing up positive. Right?
So they get tested because they're like, something going on with me. Let me go and check.
Maybe. Sometimes a partner may come in, a couple may say, let's just get tested together. Or a pregnant woman, when she presents, we encourage testing. So we may also encourage her partner to get tested as well. So we really need men to step up, not only for themselves, but for the people around them. We know many of them are engaging in sexual activity. So it's important that men are proactive in their health. And so that HIV testing really should just be another test that you're doing, right? So you're going
but the result isn't. It's scary.
It is scary,
That's
but
correct.
like we said, it's not a death sentence, right? There are services for you. There are people that are living long and prosperous lives and having children.
I think that is the sell
right?
point we need.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, the impression there is still that, oh God, if I have this. Not only that, let's be honest, being tested means if I test positive, I now have the very uncomfortable situation having to go and tell everyone that I've been sleeping with.
Yes.
You need to go get tested.
Yes. We have trained all of our testers to really support people when they come in to test, right? So you're not just coming in and do the test. There is a conversation. So there's pre-counseling. Before you get tested, we counsel you. After you get tested, we counsel you, no matter what your result is. So if you show up with a negative result, we want to teach you how to stay negative, because you're obviously doing something right. But then there's going to be some questions to assist the counseling process. So are you... what are you doing? What is your lifestyle like?
Are you being risky at any time?
Are you being risky? Are you the person that says, well, I use condoms once in a while, right? And you showed up negative. That's awesome, but
stop
that's
doing that. Stop doing that shit, dog.
I believe in 100%.
Stop it.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe in 100%.
Also, I think with the point you raised about women getting tested, like a lot of women testing. I know a lot of my female friends and myself.
Right.
If I change partner, as soon as I have eliminated a partner, I get tested immediately.
Okay.
And before I engage somebody else, I get tested.
Great, good for you.
Because no,
You never know.
You never know. Even if it's in a long-term relationship, man is
always,
trash.
yeah.
So they just be sticking their dick all over the place, and some of them feel like you don't know, but women just know. Your behavior has changed, even
This
though
will
you
make you feel
pretend.
uncomfortable because this is how we rested down.
I learned waiting there. I said, this
You
is
didn't know what you was walking into.
This is what I signed up for.
That's what the raw and uncut
Uncut is,
means.
yeah.
I was, yes. Now
Yeah.
I know. So next time we talk, I'll be prepared.
She's gonna write her case words down on a paper. Yeah, but men engage. I mean, I'm not saying that women don't cheat too, because women cheat too. But men, it kind of they around the time. Women are always there's this paranoia. So maybe that's why I think women do get tested.
Because let's face facts. Let's look at just the how many marriages fail, and normally why they fail. So you know what? Except with your wife, but if you're a man, I'm telling him, because I'm one of y'all. I know if you're gonna do this thing, wear a condom at least so you don't bring it home to your wife.
And not even just bring something home, but leave something behind, like a whole person.
Yes.
All right.
A whole one.
The beginnings of a whole person.
Yeah.
Children is not sweater. You can't be like, well, I'm going to put that away until it turn 18 and deal with it then. No.
So what about other kind of tests and stuff?
Sure, yes, definitely. We have STI clinics to test for other STIs.
But the free test is just HIV.
Yeah. No.
Free.
All those services within the government services is free.
So
for our citizens.
and so would the treatment for other STIs be free as well?
Yes. If you're working within the Ministry of Health's framework.
Okay. So do you have to sign up for like let's say like a clinic, or do you have to register at like your nearest health clinic? Or
Many times you really can just walk in, right? And of course, sometimes that may be inconvenient for you. So you may want to schedule when you want to go
Yeah.
in.
You could schedule it.
You can. I think you can go in and make appointments at particular places that have clinics, but walk-in is always something that's an option for people. And sometimes easiest because, a lot of times we make decisions, I may walk past the clinic and say, oh, you know what? I did need to pick up my glasses today. Let me just run in.
Okay. Oh, you can do all those glasses
Well, no,
and everything.
I'm just
okay,
giving.
yeah. Okay, all right.
Probably a bad
Yeah,
example, but so there are different opportunities for you within the public health service.
Okay, Kendall, who you met in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Kendall,
sure which
he
one that
asks
was.
questions in my ear.
Oh, no.
Right? So, which I'm going to answer first, yes?
Okay.
Kendall, this is about HIV, AIDS, and STDs and STIs and stuff. He was asking if you all do free prostate exams.
Because he likes prostate exams.
Yes. Well, I'm sure there's a reason, right? I mean, especially if it's something it's hereditary. It's encouraged that it's something that you do.
But would that
As much
be
as
free in a
possible.
clinic? If you go to a clinic, would you be able to get that
That
sort
is
of exam
something
as well?
I do not
You don't know
offhand.
Okay.
That's something
Because I know
don't
my mom goes to
I
clinic.
feel it's quite specialized. I mean, like, and that alone, I know is that HIV is tough. I still think that the real strategy would be to get to the younger people, and start, and the next generation.
Actually, somebody in the
You know,
comments
use-
here has
use
made
yourselves.
a pretty good. Well, I won't say. I'm not saying it's a good point, but I think it's a good suggestion.
Sure.
Maybe. I always feel like it's a parent's responsibility to parent their child. I don't think that they should depend on the school the school should not be parenting children. They should be teaching children. So yes, you should teach them about safe sex and all of that. But perhaps you all can teach the parents how to
How to have
parent
those
and have those
conversations.
conversations as a parent with the child,
It's tough
even at a young age.
Sure.
Even if it's at a PTA meeting, contact the primary schools and say, we can
Wanna
in a
meet with the
PTA meeting
parents.
speak with the parents, say, perhaps, we would like to help you all
Sure.
to have these discussions with your children, so that when it's the right time, you feel you have a better idea as to how to do it.
Right. I think it's a great suggestion, and I think it's okay as a parent to be proactive and ask questions, right? Nobody pops out a baby and has a manual,
Yeah.
right? So the same way you'll ask your mother, well, how do I do this with the baby? It's okay to ask teachers. It's okay to ask the counselor within your school, hey, my child is hitting that age where that sex talk needs to happen. I'm a little nervous. How do I have that conversation? But great suggestion. But I also think double up, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Be proactive. Ask the people that have the resources. You have a doctor. Ask your doctor, how do I begin this conversation with my
Yeah.
child about safer sex practices or just
Yeah.
sex in general and what that
Exactly.
means. So being proactive and not being ashamed to say, I don't know how to have this conversation. Growing up, my parents were big on books. So I slide the book. Here, read a book about this. we don't
My
want to
parents
talk
didn't
about
tell
this
me
right
anything.
now. But
My
read this
parents
book.
told me nothing.
Yeah.
Mine too.
I remember, till the day my father died, he had never referred to anybody as somebody girlfriend or boyfriend. It was always, that's
So-and-so
so-and-so friend, or he and so-and-so, they was friendly.
You're right.
And that's how it used to be. My parents never had a sex talk with me.
Yeah.
But then eventually, when I was maybe in my early 20s, I asked my mother a question. I said, Mommy, if I come home as a teenage pregnancy.
You had the sex talk at 20?
No sex talk. We were beyond the sex talk.
You're just
no,
talking.
My help. I think once I was dating an older man and I was in my very early 20s, and Mommy came into the kitchen and she said, so what you want this be doing when y'all go out? And I was like, I don't know. We go out. We go out. So see, you've been to his house? Yes. So what you always do there? So it's like, I don't know, sometimes he's play cards, he's watch TV, whatever we feel like doing, we just lying or whatever. She's like, because a man that age really, they only really have one thing on their mind that they would and
I'm
I'm early 20s, right? I am no longer a virgin already, right? So and I was like,
Like,
is she
and
really
Mama
trying to
didn't
have
know
a
that
sex
one.
conversation with me?
Right.
But when I was younger than that, I asked her, I was like, when I came out teenage pregnancy, you threw me out of the house. My mother has one of those laughs, right? One of those real kind of jammetty laughs. And we were in cricket. It was like a one-day international or whatever.
Talking this in cricket?
And me, mommy, and my
That's how
sister,
boring cricket is.
and we were sitting down drinking screwdrivers, actually. And I asked her, and she laughed for about a minute and a half, and then she said, "No, I wouldn't throw you out of the house. But you would have wish I did do." And then she continued laughing. This kind of, and I was like,
it was a I'm gonna throw you out of the house laugh.
yeah, and it was almost like if she was thinking about the events in her brain and laughing. I was like, "Mommy, are you crazy? What's going on?" But that sex thing, I think my parents are of an age where it's traditional and that's a thing for marriage, and I mean, and nothing's wrong with that. If that's the way you feel or whatever.
But is it effective? Is it effective?
It's
parenting?
not.
No.
So then when I
Is it
eventually got pregnant out of wedlock, it was the same. Right?
Who gets pregnant in wedlock? Anyway? Come on.
Stop it.
Well, you know what he says. Well, Louis
Come on, that's
says.
old fashioned.
Louis says all the time
Married
now
again,
that
pregnant?
marriage
That
is
is
the
your
cure for
story.
sex. That's what Louis says.
What's that?
Marriage is the cure for sex.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but I mean, I think go get into the parents and educating the parents as to how to have that conversation with the kids. I think that should be a good start, because a lot of kids don't know. Just because both of y'all have HIV don't mean that y'all could go and have unprotected sex.
Right.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah. And when we have couples like that, there is counseling, because we do have couples that have children, right? And how do you ensure that you have a healthy sex life as a couple? And we do have couples that are discordant. So I mean discordant, one is HIV positive and one is HIV negative. And so we do have couples that have healthy sex lives, because they of course adhere to the counseling that they receive and are still seeking support.
Well, I mean, I want to get back to the what is the appropriate age you think that children should be taught about safe sex?
You know what? I think every stage there is an appropriate amount of information to give a child, right? So from early on, from little, there's different body parts. That's a start.
When you say like 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, I think all when you see 5 and 10.
Yeah, because
you see
babies
what you
ask
have?
you, "Mommy, you're showering. What's that? You and I have the same thing."
And
you
sometimes
say,
you have best friend of a different sex, and you're like, "Why Joey have a and I don't have one?"
Right.
So it's like explain
So
to them.
you have to find, when those questions arise, how do you answer them age appropriately, right? So I think at every age, there's going to be more information you give out. And so by the time that they're 9, 10, you can sort of encompass, and they're encompassing all that information that you're giving them, right? So when they are 18, 19, you're not bursting out all the information at once. They've been having the conversation with you, and I think ideally that's what occurred in my household. I don't remember one specific conversation. I felt like I always knew, and I didn't always know the details of sex, but throughout my years, from little until an adult, there's just been varying conversations and varying levels of knowledge. So I think it should always be happening, even just from describing body parts, what they are. This is what it is.
This is what it is.
This is
and
not
then,
a butterfly.
And then this is how it works. Yeah. Your vagina is not a tulip.
I tell you a funny joke. My brother Joel and I have a brother, and our cousin, I don't know if you know Stephen Hart, he was the ex-coach for the Trinidad football team, right? He's my first cousin, and sometimes at Carnival, he used to come from Zan, because most of my family was. And he's how Jared and I found out about sex. We were like real kids. Because Steve was a little bit older than us, And we asked him, because we were so curious about this, and Stephen's the one who told us about it. I remember when he told me and my brother, and we jointly chorused, went, "Oh God, that's what they do?" And I was Stephen saying that, "Well, you're saying that now." And he was so right.
Yeah, actually, I remember once encountering a card. I guess it was a safe sex kind of little card that had little tips. I guess he would giving it out to, at the time, high school kids, because it was in a high school person's wallet that I saw it.
Okay.
And it said, do not put your mouth on anyone else's genitalia. And I was like, why would you do that? Like, who the hell would put their mouth on? Why would you do that? I was like, this is so dumb. Shit. Yeah, no. Now I know why.
I guess that's why information a little bit of time I think is the best way. Because I mean,
Exactly.
getting too much information at the wrong age too can be.
Yeah.
But I
Kinda
remember
jarring.
when
And confusing.
Yeah.
My brother and I found out about it. We were like shocked, like, oh, that sounds so disgusting. Why would anybody even do
That, yeah.
you know? But find out the information from your first cousin. You know, it's not, but my parents never.
A lot of times that's what happens, you know.
You know, some friends, somebody in school, or it's the one who end up telling you.
And
how
then
it
too,
goes down.
sometimes I think kids sometimes don't feel like, which I think is also almost maybe a kind of dangerous thing. So especially with young girls, they start to experiment whether with whomever, and or things start to progress between them and a male or with a partner, and it might go to a certain point and they don't feel comfortable because of fear of a reaction to tell their parent, okay, look, mommy, I had sex with this boy, or this boy fingered me, or this is what has happened. Because they are scared of the reaction that they might get from the parent.
Right.
And they should at that point go to see a gynecologist or the OBGYN or whatever. And I think that children should feel comfortable talking to their parents about it. So maybe if parents are included in the thing, and as you suggested,
Oh, sure, yeah.
educating all along, they might feel more comfortable saying, okay, mommy, things have been penetrated. Well, maybe
Yeah.
not that exact word, but
Okay.
What other word to use? That's the exact
No,
word
but mommy,
you
I had
use.
sex. So,
right.
I mean, I'm not saying that your mother should be your best friend because I don't believe in being friends with your parents. I believe that your parents is your parents and your
Right.
friends are your friends. But for them to feel comfortable enough to share that information, because as a minor, you need to. Because
You need to,
as
yes.
a 16-year-old, you can't roll up. Hey, Dr. Quinlan. I had sex with a boy, so I want to know what,
Right.
check things out there.
So we do want to encourage that relationship between parents and child because, that's going to encourage getting your child services or getting your child just information many times.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because things like UTIs could occur, and then they're like, oh my God, I don't know how this happened.
Yes.
And then the mother's like, really? You don't know how that happened? What were you doing, girl?
She's riding a horse. So let me ask you.
Yes.
But getting the word out,
Sure.
that must be the hardest part of what you're trying to do. Getting the word out, getting people informed. What methods are you using to try and get the word out to them?
This
TV,
is
radio,
one.
newspaper.
This is one way. So thank you again for having me. And we also have people. We have a Facebook page. We know social media.
I didn't even know that. But
We do.
Please tell them
So-
what the Facebook page
Sure,
is.
the Ministry of Health has a Facebook page. So check out our Facebook page. There are updates. You'll find information on
Post it up there,
services. You'll have information on where our testing sites are. You'll have information on major testing days. So, for example, in June, there will be the Caribbean Regional Testing Day, which I know has been very successful here in Trinidad and Tobago and really across the Caribbean. World AIDS Day is in December. That's usually something people know about. So all that information is accessible there on the websites and on Facebook. And of course, this form of media, so having us is always important because we know you reach a certain demographic that needs to have that information. So we are consistently working on getting the message out there. And of course, we have to give credit to our regional health authorities. We know the local clinics, our nurses, we know that they're talking to community members, talking to their community in general about what they need to know. And of course, we have the National AIDS Coordinating Committee.
Yeah.
And so they do a lot of our national media outreach, and we partner with them, of course, to make that happen.
I want to thank you so much. Men, especially men.
Men get tested,
Oh,
young
wait,
people
so
get tested.
on the in terms of, not that we not. I know Luis was like thanks, but I just want to ask one more thing.
No.
In terms of post positive result support. So if I get a positive result and then I don't know. I mean, yes, you offer counseling, but suppose I go to my life and I'm traumatized there because of reaction or something.
Stigma reaction from parents.
And friends
or family or
and ejection from lives and so on. Is there a
Support?
community or some sort of support system that I can access as a positive, but I am not, but if I were a positive HIV positive person, is there some sort of community group that I could have support that I can access easily? Or I guess there must be some sort of anonymity involved. I'm not sure.
So great question, and I think it's something good to know. So when there is someone who is positive, part of the counseling is, of course, connecting them to a treatment site. And we have treatment sites across the Trinidad and Tobago. And so once we link you to a treatment site, many times that treatment site will also provide you with support services, And, of course, even before you leave the treatment site, honestly, at the testing site, when you get that result, they talk to you about what does it mean to tell your family? What is it going to mean to tell a partner? Or whoever's in your life, and what that can look like. In that moment, that may not even really be something that you're thinking about, or even you may be hearing the counselor talk and maybe not absorbing everything. But what happened, the good thing is that we link you to a treatment site where after that, you continue to have that support, and they can connect you to multiple NGOs that are on the ground that work with people living with HIV and AIDS, so that you have that support. And treatment sites are really important because many times they have patient tracers or people who check in and say, hey, you haven't been to your appointment to pick up your medication. Is everything okay? Do we need to drop it off to you? There are many nurses, and of course, we always need to give our nurses props, right? There are many nurses who will say, okay, well, you can't come today, I'll drop it off for you. Or the pharmacist will do that. I mean, I think the people that work in this area go above and beyond.
Yeah. I think empathy must be a real important part of their, I guess,
For sure.
Right.
makeup for them to be. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So we give them a lot of credit for what they do at testing and treatment sites. So there are services, there are NGOs that do support on the ground what's happening with people living with HIV and AIDS.
Okay, great. Now, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for
I think we
having
got
me.
our earrings from the same place.
Maybe.
Yes, you're the shop shari. You're shop shari.
A local designer though. So
Yes, I think it's shop shari. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
well, nice
Cool.
earrings.
Thanks, girl. You too.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank
huh?
you.
All
Thank you.
And
So nice
everyone,
to meet you.
I want to tell you to be back on Tuesday.
We back on Tuesday.
All right, and I think over the weekend I'll drink some more tequila and
And
I'll
tell
come
you all
here
what
and say,
happened.
yes.
He'll try a different type
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
he can let you know the color of the diarrhea. Yeah.
Bye everyone. Have a good night.
Bye. You keep doing that.